In the world of science, curiosity often leads us down dark and mysterious paths. Paths that push the boundaries of what we know, and sometimes what we're willing to believe. A team of daring scientists recently decided to conduct an experiment that would make even the bravest souls shudder. Their mission? To place a camera inside a coffin, deep within the earth, and record what happens when the dead are left undisturbed for centuries. But what they uncovered was beyond what they could have ever imagined. Join us as we explore 15 instances when scientists have uncovered terrifying truths that have made us question everything we thought we knew about life and death. Number 15. Vincent's last secret. Vincent came from a rich family. His dad was a real estate expert and artifact collector, and his mom was a top surgeon. Despite his wealth, Vincent was humble and dedicated to making the world better. After his mom died, his dad remarried Rita's mom, and Vincent started working in real estate and artifact collection. He did well, but was devastated when his father died shortly after. His stepmother and stepsister, Rita, supported him, and he grew close to them. Vincent moved back into his old family home, where he improved the community and helped those in need. However, he was found dead one morning, and Rita, who had a bad feeling, rushed him to the hospital. The doctors couldn't determine the cause of death, but suggested an autopsy. Rita, knowing Vincent's aversion to autopsies, decided against it and arranged for his body to be used in scientific research. The scientists placed a camera in Vincent's coffin to study him for a year. At the funeral, the camera recorded live footage, and the scientists were shocked to see Vincent moving inside the coffin. They quickly contacted the police. When the police arrived at Rita's house the next day, she was nervous and tried to block them, but they informed her she was a suspect in Vincent's death. Rita confessed to drugging Vincent in hopes of finding valuable artifacts he was hiding. She had faked documents to avoid an autopsy and sent Vincent's body to the scientists. In a twist, Vincent was alive. The sleeping pills had worn off, and he had been struggling in his coffin. The scientists and police dug him up, and he was stabilized in the hospital. Vincent had hidden the artifacts, suspecting Rita's intentions. Rita was eventually arrested and sentenced to prison for her crime. Number 14. Unsettling Mystery of Rosalia Lombardo. Over a century has passed since young Rosalia Lombardo's death, but her story continues to interest and unsettle people worldwide. Rosalia was just 2 years old when the 1920 Spanish flu claimed her life. Despite her parents' best efforts, the virus caused pneumonia, quickly worsening her condition until she passed away. Her father, devastated by the loss of his only child, sought to preserve her memory greatly. Turning to science, Mr. Lombardo enlisted the help of Dr. Alfredo Salafia, a renowned embalmer. Salafia's groundbreaking preservation techniques kept Rosalia's body incredibly lifelike. Today, she rests in the Capuchin catacombs of Palermo, Italy, where visitors see her as Sleeping Beauty due to her serene appearance. However, what truly captures people's attention is the eerie nightly occurrence where her eyelids seem to flutter open, adding an element of mystery and fear to her tragic story. Salafia's preservation method, using a mix of chemicals like formalin and zinc salts, was so effective that Rosalia's lifelike appearance shocked her mother, who initially thought her daughter had returned to life. This extraordinary preservation technique became a symbol of a father's enduring love and Salafia's expertise, leaving a legacy that continues to fascinate scientists and visitors alike. Even today, Rosalia looks as though she might simply be sleeping, with her golden curls and rosy cheeks untouched by time. Encased in a nitrogen-filled glass container to maintain her pristine condition, she resembles a life-sized doll. But what really astounds people is the unsettling sight of her seemingly opening and closing her eyes at night, an event that has been both recorded and debated. While some dismiss it as an optical illusion, others are convinced they've witnessed something truly eerie, keeping Rosalia's memory alive in a way that defies explanation. Number 13. Accidental Roentgen ray creation. In 1896, a fortunate thunderstorm led to an unexpected breakthrough for French physicist Henri Becquerel, who would later receive a Nobel Prize for his discovery of radioactivity. While examining the energy emitted by uranium salts, Becquerel initially thought that sunlight triggered their luminescence, similar to the recently discovered X-rays by Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. On a particularly sunny day, Becquerel prepared photographic plates to test his hypothesis. Unfortunately, as clouds obscured the sun, he was forced to postpone his experiment and store the setup away indoors. Unbeknownst to him, this delay proved fortuitous. A week later, when he examined the forgotten plates, he was astonished to find faint images imprinted on them. This unexpected result revealed that the uranium salts were emitting invisible rays, which he initially called Becquerel rays, and which could penetrate through opaque materials, such as black paper. Becquerel's discovery was groundbreaking because it suggested that these rays were not dependent on external light sources, but were emitted spontaneously by the uranium salts. This phenomenon was later redefined by Marie and Pierre Curie, who coined the term radioactivity to describe the process by which unstable atomic nuclei release energy in the form of particles or electromagnetic waves. Their pioneering work led to the identification of new radioactive elements, including radium and polonium, and uncovered radiation's ability to alter atomic structures, a discovery that laid the groundwork for advancements in nuclear physics and chemistry. The implications of this discovery were profound, sparking further research into nuclear reactions and eventually leading to the development of nuclear power and medical applications such as radiation therapy. The chance timing of the thunderstorm not only facilitated this breakthrough, but also underscored how scientific progress can hinge on unexpected events. Number 12. Gunpowder discovery. In an unexpected twist of fate, the Chinese alchemist's ancient quest for an elixir of immortality inadvertently gave birth to modern explosives and artillery, radically altering the landscape of warfare. These pioneering scholars were deeply engrossed in the mystical pursuit of concocting potions that could grant eternal life and transform base metals into precious ones, like turning lead into gold. While this might seem like fantasy today, it was a serious scientific and spiritual endeavor more than 1,000 years ago. The key moment occurred around 850 CE in Sichuan province, China. An alchemist, experimenting with a mixture of saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal dust, accidentally triggered a massive explosion. This explosive reaction, which released toxic fumes and intense heat, was far from the immortality potion they had hoped for. Instead, it led to the creation of black powder, the world's first high explosive. Black powder's discovery was a game-changer for warfare. Initially, it was used in fireworks, but its potential as an explosive soon became evident. By the 10th century, black powder had become a crucial component in weaponry. The Chinese began using it in various military devices, including bombs, rockets, and cannons, which drastically altered combat strategies. This explosive technology spread across Asia and eventually reached Europe via the Silk Road trade routes. The knowledge of black powder revolutionized European battle tactics during the late Middle Ages, leading to the development of new firearms and artillery. The impact of black powder on warfare was profound. It played a crucial role in many historical conflicts, such as the 100 Years' War and the Siege of Constantinople. The devastating power of gunpowder-based weapons shifted the balance of military power, contributing to the decline of medieval fortifications and the rise of modern armies. Number 11. The insane effect of penguin poop. Penguins are some of the most captivating creatures on the planet. Each species has unique traits that never fail to fascinate researchers, and their adorable appearance only adds to their charm, making them delightful to watch. But there's more to these charming birds than meets the eye. Recent studies have revealed a surprising and somewhat humorous discovery. Penguin poop produces nitrous oxide, commonly known as laughing gas. As penguin colonies digest their food, their waste releases significant amounts of this potent greenhouse gas. Nitrous oxide is no laughing matter when it comes to its environmental impact. It can linger in the atmosphere for up to 114 years, trapping heat and contributing to global warming. Among the most prolific producers are Adelie penguins, one of Antarctica's most numerous species. Researchers found that these penguins generate enormous quantities of guano, or penguin poop, which drastically alters the chemistry of the soil. This change leads to nitrous oxide emissions that are up to 8 times higher than normal background levels. With more than 5 million Adelie penguins in Antarctica, that's a staggering amount of heat-trapping gas being released into the atmosphere. And it's not just the Adelie penguins contributing to this issue. Emperor penguins and chinstrap penguins also produce significant amounts of nitrous oxide through their waste. In total, penguin colonies across Antarctica are estimated to release around 5,500 tons of nitrous oxide into the air each year, according to scientific estimates. So, while penguins may be endearing and captivating, they are also contributing to a serious environmental concern. Number 10. Anesthesia. Before 1846, undergoing complex surgery while fully awake and aware was a painful and frightening reality. Patients had to endure excruciating pain, as modern anesthesia had not yet been discovered. This changed due to a fortunate accident in Hartford, Connecticut. Dr. Horace Wells, a dentist, was interested in the popular entertainment of the time, laughing gas demonstrations. During one such event, a man named Samuel Cooley inhaled nitrous oxide, which made him run into walls and injure himself. Despite his injuries, he felt no pain while under the gas's influence. This observation sparked an idea in Dr. Wells. Perhaps nitrous oxide could be used to numb pain during surgeries. To test this, Dr. Wells inhaled nitrous oxide himself, while a colleague extracted one of his teeth. He felt no discomfort, confirming his theory. He then tried to share this breakthrough with the public. However, during a demonstration with another patient, the patient cried out in pain, leading to Dr. Wells being discredited. It wasn't until 16 years later that Dr. Wells's student, William Morton, successfully used ether as a general anesthetic in a public surgery. This breakthrough marked the beginning of modern anesthesia. Following this, further advancements like the use of chloroform refined the practice. Today, anesthesia is an essential field in medicine, ensuring patients are pain-free and comfortable during surgeries, trauma care, and childbirth. Millions of operations are performed each year, thanks to the pioneering work of Dr. Wells and the subsequent advancements in anesthesia. Number 9. Secret in Mother's Coffin. When Kara opened her mom's coffin to say goodbye, she stumbled upon a chilling secret. Years after her mother's death, Kara discovered a truth that shook her world. Kara's childhood was filled with fear and sadness. While her friends looked forward to going home, Kara dreaded it. Her parents, Helen and John, were always fighting fiercely, and Kara couldn't understand why. Her mother started locking her in a room whenever John came home, and Kara often heard cries and screams at night. Seeking escape, Kara found solace with her grandmother and next-door friend Lily. One night, when Kara was 8, her mother forgot to lock the door. Kara saw a disheveled man stumble in, her father, drunk and enraged. She heard her parents argue violently, and in her panic, Kara screamed for them to stop. Her mother decided it was safest for Kara to stay with her grandmother, Emma, while Helen stayed behind under threat from John. 3 months later, Kara's grandmother received devastating news. Helen had died. When Kara visited her mother's coffin, she discovered something horrifying. But even more shocking was what she learned years later. A nurse revealed that a woman in their care, who had amnesia, had been asking about Kara. The woman had drawn pictures of Kara as a child, wearing the same dress she had on when she went to live with her grandmother. Kara was stunned. Could this woman be her mother? A DNA test confirmed the woman was Helen. Kara's long-lost mother was alive, but had suffered from severe amnesia. Helen's recovery revealed a dark past. John had violently attacked her, leaving her for dead. Helen had wandered away, eventually ending up in a mental facility. With this truth exposed, Kara had John arrested. Helen, now recovering her memories, moved in with Kara and her grandmother. They began the difficult process of healing and rebuilding their lives, determined to make up for lost time and create a brighter future together. Number 8. 5D data storage in glass. Imagine a way to store information so it lasts for billions of years. The idea is to etch data into nanostructured glass, a concept that's both groundbreaking and fascinating. Researchers at the University of Southampton have pioneered this incredible technology, which allows people to record up to 360 terabytes of data onto tiny glass discs, ensuring the data remains stable for 13.8 billion years, roughly as long as the universe has existed. This discovery emerged from the team's quest to find methods for preserving human knowledge across immense periods. They drew inspiration from the ancient Roman Lycurgus cup, made from dichroic glass, which changes color depending on how the light hits it. Using this idea, the researchers developed a cutting-edge laser writing process that engraves tiny, nanostructured dots onto small silica glass discs. These discs, known as 5D optical storage discs, can endure extreme temperatures of up to 1,000 degrees Celsius while staying perfectly readable under optical microscopy. Tests suggest these discs could last nearly as long as the universe itself, making them far more reliable than traditional storage methods like hard drives or tapes, which degrade in just a few decades. The technology employs femtosecond laser pulses to create self-assembled nanogratings within the silica glass. This process uses an effect that was previously considered a drawback in glass manufacturing. Now, historical manuscripts and other valuable records can be stored in these tiny time capsules. Even if humanity were to vanish, future space travelers discovering these glass orbs millions of years from now could still retrieve and decode our knowledge. Number 7. Cloning of Dolly the sheep. In 1996, researchers from the Roslin Institute in Scotland made headlines across the globe when they introduced Dolly the sheep, the first mammal ever successfully cloned from an adult somatic cell. This groundbreaking achievement shook the scientific community to its core, as it proved that specialized cells taken from an adult animal could be reprogrammed into embryonic stem cells, capable of developing into a complete organism. Before this, many scientists believed that mature, differentiated cells had lost the ability to revert to such a state, making the cloning of an adult mammal seem nearly impossible. But Dr. Ian Wilmot and his team at Roslin defied these expectations. They took a cell from the mammary gland of a 6-year-old Finn Dorset ewe and fused it with an egg cell, which was then implanted into a surrogate mother. The result was Dolly, born on July 5, 1996, a scientific marvel that challenged long-held beliefs about cell biology and demonstrated that cloning from adult cells was indeed possible. Dolly's birth captivated the world, as people were astonished by the idea that an animal could be essentially duplicated from a single body cell. However, Dolly's creation also ignited intense debates over the ethics of cloning and stirred concerns about the potential for human cloning. Despite the controversy, the Roslin team's breakthrough marked a monumental leap forward in our understanding of cell reprogramming. It opened up new avenues for stem cell research and regenerative medicine. Dolly went on to live a relatively normal life until 2003, when she succumbed to progressive lung disease, demonstrating that clones could lead healthy lives. More than 2 decades later, scientists continue to explore the implications of Dolly's existence. Her legacy endures, seen in advances such as the 2020 cloning of the endangered black-footed ferret and ongoing developments in cell reprogramming techniques. Number 6. Strikeable Match. In 1826, English chemist John Walker made a serendipitous discovery that would revolutionize the way we start fires. Walker, who was deeply involved in developing a formula for igniting firearms, was experimenting with a mixture of antimony sulfide, potassium chlorate, gum, and starch, all applied to the end of a wooden stick. His goal was to create percussion caps, tiny explosive devices used to ignite gunpowder. One day, while Walker was drying one of these sticks, he absent-mindedly struck it against his hearth. To his surprise, the stick ignited with a brilliant flare, reminiscent of the bright flash of a match head. This unexpected reaction was due to the chemical combination of potassium chlorate and antimony sulfide, which, when struck, generated enough friction to cause ignition. Interested by this accidental ignition, Walker began refining his formula. By adjusting the chemical proportions and experimenting with different compositions, he improved the reliability of the reaction. In 1826, he started selling his new friction lights to the public. Despite not patenting his invention, an oversight that allowed others to produce similar matches, Walker was the first to create a practical and portable means of starting fires with a simple strike. Walker's invention marked a significant advancement from earlier methods of fire starting, which often relied on cumbersome and dangerous techniques like flint and steel, or using chemical reactions that were less reliable. His friction matches were a game-changer for everyday life, providing a safer, more convenient alternative. The invention quickly gained popularity and spread across Europe and America, transforming how people managed fire. Interestingly, Walker's friction matches paved the way for the modern match industry and inspired future innovations in safety and convenience. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In the heart of a cutting-edge research lab, a group of scientists embarked on a groundbreaking experiment. They had secured an ancient, untouched coffin, reputed to be thousands of years old. Their purpose is to capture the long-forgotten secrets that lay within. With trembling hands, they placed a small, high-definition camera inside the coffin, eager to unveil the mysteries of the past. As the camera's feed flickered to life, the room fell silent. The screen displayed nothing but darkness at first, the camera slowly adjusting to the dim, suffocating space. Then, something moved. A shadow, subtle yet unmistakable. The scientists leaned in, hearts pounding, trying to discern what they were seeing. Suddenly, the shadow took form, revealing a gaunt, skeletal hand, still draped in decaying fabric, reaching towards the camera, as if in response to their intrusion. The hand moved with an unnatural fluidity, sending chills down their spines. Without warning, the screen erupted into static, and a blood-curdling scream pierced the silence, not from the camera, but from deep within the coffin itself. The scientists recoiled in horror as the sound filled the room, a sound that no living thing should ever make. They tried to cut the feed, but the screen remained fixed on that ghastly, grasping hand. The air grew colder, and an oppressive sense of dread enveloped them. It felt as though the centuries-old coffin had become a gateway, a conduit to something far more sinister than they had ever imagined. In their desperate attempt to uncover the past, the scientists had awakened something that was never meant to be disturbed. The camera went black, but the screams echoed long after the screen had faded, leaving the researchers to question if they had merely captured a ghost or unleashed a curse that would haunt them forever. Could this discovery have consequences far beyond what they could ever imagine? Let us have your opinions in the comment below. Number 5. The world's first venomous frog. Brazilian biologists made an astonishing discovery the hard way. Carlos Jarrett, a seasoned researcher, was exploring the vibrant jungles of southwest Brazil, known for its incredible biodiversity. Amid his expedition, he stumbled upon a frog that appeared to be harmless. With his extensive expertise in the local ecosystem, Carlos believed it to be a benign species and decided to handle it. However, this frog had a surprising and dangerous secret. As Carlos picked up the frog, It suddenly started thrashing and head-butting his hand. This unusual behavior caught Carlos off guard. The real shock came when he and his colleague, Edmund Brody, investigated further. They discovered that this frog, named the greening sprague, possesses a unique and rare defense mechanism. Unlike most amphibians, which secrete toxins through their skin to deter predators, the greening sprague takes a more aggressive approach. This frog is the first known species to actively inject toxins into its attacker's bloodstream. When threatened, it retracts the skin around its upper lip, revealing sharp, bony spines. These spines are not just for display, they serve a crucial purpose. At the base of each spine, there are specialized glands that produce a potent toxic mucus. When the frog is provoked, it uses these spines to forcefully inject the toxic substance into the predator's bloodstream, causing a painful and potentially lethal reaction. The greening sprague's discovery sheds light on the extraordinary adaptations of amphibians and highlights the incredible evolutionary innovations that can arise in nature. Number 4. Discovery of Vaseline. In 1859, a young chemist named Robert Chesebro was deep in his laboratory, driven by the booming oil industry to discover new energy sources. Amidst his experiments, he stumbled upon a curious waxy substance that clung to oil rigs. This peculiar material, known as rod wax, caught his attention because it seemed to have a remarkable ability to speed up the healing of cuts and bruises. Intrigued, Chesebro became determined to uncover the secrets behind this mysterious healing goo. He diligently collected samples of rod wax and spent countless hours experimenting to extract and purify its essential compounds. After numerous trials and errors, Chesebro finally perfected a clear petroleum-based jelly that people know today as Vaseline. He was so confident in its effectiveness that he tested it extensively on himself, applying it to wounds and burns before subjecting his skin to extreme temperatures and harsh conditions. To his delight, the Vaseline worked wonders, protecting and healing his skin. Eager to share his discovery, Chesebro hit the road, traveling across New York in his horse and carriage. He gave public demonstrations where he would burn his skin and then apply his miracle jelly, to the amazement of onlookers, who responded with deafening applause. By the early 20th century, Vaseline was being mass-produced and marketed for a wide range of uses, from soothing chapped lips to protecting newborn babies' delicate skin. The discovery of Vaseline wasn't a slick marketing ploy, but the result of a chemist's relentless curiosity about an odd substance he encountered. This accidental breakthrough led to the creation of one of the most versatile and widely used products in the world. Over 150 years later, that iconic little tub of Vaseline remains a staple in medicine cabinets everywhere. Number 3. Creation of Vanta Black. In 2014, British researchers stumbled upon a groundbreaking discovery while working on a project that was far from what they ended up creating. Their goal was to develop ultra-efficient carbon nanotube arrays for aerospace and optics applications. But what they accidentally produced was something truly extraordinary: the blackest substance ever known to humankind, known as Vanta Black. Dr. Ben Jensen and his team at Surrey Nanosystems never set out to create the darkest material on Earth. However, their vertical carbon nanotube forest ended up absorbing an astonishing 99.9% of visible light, leaving almost nothing to reflect or scatter. The microscopic pores between the tangled branches of nanotubes are so dense that they trap photons, effectively preventing any light from escaping. When Vanta Black was first revealed to the world, it left viewers utterly perplexed by its eerie, otherworldly appearance. When applied to a surface, it looks like a black hole or a portal into an infinite void. Even the slightest curves or crevices vanish into its abyssal darkness, creating an unsettling effect, as if you're staring into nothingness itself. Originally intended for scientific and military purposes, Vanta Black soon captured the imagination of artists, who were fascinated by its disorienting visual impact. In 2016, sculptor Sir Anish Kapoor secured exclusive rights to use Vanta Black for artistic purposes, sparking some controversy. This mystifying substance, with its record-breaking blackness, was born entirely by accident in a materials lab, a serendipitous moment of inspiration that led to the creation of an entirely new level of blackness. Number 2. The microwave. Microwaves are now a staple in kitchens across the globe, but their invention was a serendipitous accident that revolutionized food preparation. This unexpected breakthrough dates back to 1945, when Percy Spencer, an engineer at Raytheon Corporation, was working with a magnetron. The magnetron is a key component in radar technology, used during World War II to detect enemy aircraft. Spencer, who was conducting experiments with these radar devices, noticed something unusual one day. While standing near a magnetron, he felt a strange sensation and observed that the candy bar in his pocket had melted. This sparked his curiosity. To investigate further, he set up a more controlled experiment by placing popcorn kernels near the magnetron. To his astonishment, the kernels began to pop, transforming into fluffy, delicious popcorn almost instantly. This accidental discovery was the result of electromagnetic waves emitted by the magnetron, which heat food by causing water molecules to vibrate rapidly, generating heat. Spencer's insight led him to realize that these waves could be harnessed to cook food quickly and efficiently. Raytheon, recognizing the potential of Spencer's discovery, filed a patent for the microwave oven in 1947. The first commercial microwave, called the Radar Range, was quite large and expensive, costing around $5,000, which is equivalent to about $60,000 today. However, as technology advanced and production costs decreased, microwaves became more affordable and eventually found their way into homes worldwide. Today, microwave ovens are proof of how a chance observation can lead to a revolutionary invention, transforming the way people cook and reheat food. Number 1. Mauve. In 1856, Sir William Perkin, a young and ambitious chemist at the Royal College of Chemistry, was on a quest to find a cure for malaria. However, his research took an unexpected turn, leading to a discovery that would revolutionize both fashion and chemistry. During his experiments, Perkin was combining coal tar with quinine, a compound derived from the bark of the cinchona tree, known for its malaria-fighting properties. To his surprise, the resulting thick black sludge transformed into a striking purple hue when he added alcohol to it. This accidental discovery led to the creation of the first synthetic dye, which Perkin named Mauvine. Before this breakthrough, dyes were extracted from natural sources such as plants, insects, and minerals. These traditional dyes were often expensive, difficult to produce, and prone to fading. For instance, the famous Tyrian purple, derived from sea snails, was so costly that it was worn only by emperors and royalty. Additionally, the popular green dye at the time contained arsenic, making it not only costly, but also hazardous. Perkin's Mauvine was a game changer. It was the first dye to be mass-produced, significantly lowering costs and making vibrant colors accessible to the general public. This synthetic dye set off a wave of innovation in the textile industry, leading to the development of a wide range of synthetic colors. Perkin's accidental breakthrough not only democratized fashion, but also marked the beginning of a new era in chemistry, laying the groundwork for the modern synthetic dye industry. What are your thoughts about these shocking discoveries by scientists? Share your opinions with us in the comments section below.